For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for another edition of the Chris Richardson Show, currently joined by Wheeling University head men's basketball coach Chris Richardson. And Chris, you guys are finally getting back on the court for your first real games of the year this weekend as you tip off 23-24. Talk about the excitement leading up to these first official games.
Yeah, it's exciting. We've been going at it since basically Labor Day. Labor Day weekend is kind of when we started off our preseason work and conditioning and running the hills of Wheeling and running campus miles and getting in the weight room and getting on the court. And, everything leads up to what everybody's here to do, which is play games, win games. And so we have our first opportunity to do that this weekend, playing two great opponents in the Atlantic Region crossover up at West Liberty. So we're excited. The guys have been great. They've taken coaching. They've taken constructive criticism, and they've just continued to work and get better. So we're excited to get out there on the court.
And since we last talked at MEC Media Day, you guys have played a couple of scrimmages, gotten a chance to play some other teams. Talk about what you've seen in those scrimmages and kind of the growth your guys have shown.
Yeah, I mean, when you play somebody else that you don't practice against every day, there's a different energy. And one thing we tell our guys, we compete every day. We play 5-on-5 full court basketball every day, and so it gets really competitive. When you're out there going against your brothers and the guys that you're in the locker room with every day and going through practice and conditioning with every day. But you can't play harder in those scenarios, and it can't be more in those scenarios than it does when you play somebody else. And so I think we got a competitive team. We got a team that plays pretty hard, and we can always get better on both ends of the court. But as long as the effort's there, you got a chance at reaching your full potential. And so we've learned a lot from the scrimmages. Mostly little things, details, and how important those are. And so we got to go out and execute those details this weekend because we're playing two really good programs.
And when you look at your returners on this team from last year, obviously Marcus Johnson leading the way, but you have some guys who might not have put up some big numbers last year, but were big contributors like Will Gabbard off the bench, Caleb Murray. Talk about some of those guys and kind of their roles this year as they kind of go from that bench player to a more prominent role.
Yeah, both of those guys, They've had good games. Will Gabbard had a great game at Fairmont State, which is one of the better programs in the league and in the region the past several years. And so he had a good game there. He had a good game at Concord. Caleb had a good game against Davis and Elkins. Pretty good game, I think, against West Virginia State. So those guys have played. They've shown glimpses of what they can be. Now we're asking them to play bigger roles, and some other guys as well. And so we do have a lot of pieces, and how it all fits together is kind of the fun part of my job. Sometimes it can be stressful as well, but that's what we all sign up for. So both of those guys can make shots. The key for each of them specifically is who are they going to guard, and can they use their matchup to their advantage defensively. Just keep your man in front, do a good job with the little things. Leveling off the drive, blocking out, contesting shots, all little things that happen every possession. So excited to see how they take on a little bit bigger role and some of our other guys as well.
And looking at some of your transfers, you mentioned them a lot at MEC Media Day. You have a couple of guys with MEC experience in Kobe Tingy from Alderson Broadus and a bunch of other guys coming in. Talk about the group and kind of how they're molding in.
Yeah, Kobe's still working his way back from injury, but he's getting better and better. He's playing, he's cleared, all that. He just, I think his best basketball this season is going to continually be down the road, and so he works hard. He is experienced. We know what he can do, and he knows what he can do, and he's a good piece because defensively he can guard just about anybody on the floor. He's strong. He can guard bigger guys, but he can keep guards in front of him as well. And then offensively, he's very unselfish. He's a really key piece on that end because he doesn't. He can affect the game in so many ways without necessarily scoring, and then when he has opportunities to score, he's capable of doing that too. Our other two transfers, Jerry Saunders, good guard from the Columbus area that put up good numbers at Wittenberg last year, a top Division III program. He can shoot the ball. He can score a little bit. And when he's really engaged on the defensive end, he's one of our better players on that end. And so, the challenge for him is continuing to do that every possession, every day, every night. And he's been great at accepting that and striving to do that. And then Sean Ely, point guard from Parkland College. Grew up in Cincinnati and went to Parkland College in Illinois. He's a good change of pace for us. He's got exceptional quickness. He's not the biggest guy, but he's really quick. He's tough. He's strong. He's physical, and he can shoot the basketball. So, all those guys, when they get opportunities to contribute, I think you'll see not just what they can do from a talent standpoint, but how they fit our system.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head men's basketball coach Chris Richardson. And Chris, talk a little bit about this tournament that you're going to this weekend. You guys have been going to the West Liberty Classic for the last couple of years. Talk about the tournament overall and kind of how it helps you prepare for the year.
Yeah, one of the cool things about Division II is you get good competition right out of the gate. There's not a whole lot of bye games in Division II where you're paying somebody to come in and play. Normally, if there's a Division II school involved in that situation, they're the ones getting the check. And so we've been on that end of it too. But, these games, these region games, Seton Hill, I think, won 16 games last year. Shippensburg was, in contention for an NCAA tournament berth pretty much the whole season. And two really, really well-coached teams and two teams that are systematic in their approach and have great cultures and programs in place. And so, we're gonna find out exactly where we're at, right out of the gate. Seton Hill gives you some funky looks defensively, that really, I think, last year caught a lot of teams by surprise, and they're really, really bought into what they do, and they're really good at it, and they're really disciplined in it. Shippensburg probably a little bit more unknown because they lost so many pieces from a year ago. Seton Hill's got a lot more returners, but they've done it, at a high level at Shippensburg for a long time. So we'll get a look at them Friday night. In the first game, get a chance to live scout them a little bit, and kind of build our game plan off of the information we have already and the information we get from that game. But opening weekends are a little, at any level, it's a little bit of an unknown. And so we got to really, really focus on ourselves. Can't get carried away focusing on what the other team does or their guys, because once you start worrying about other people and stop worrying about yourself, you can have slippage, and some of those details that are so crucial to winning can fade away. So we got to really focus on Wheeling, and understand the looks they're giving us and how we can take advantage of them and what we got to avoid. But most of all, focus on doing what we do.
And early on here, you guys are going to have to be road warriors. Your first 4 games on the road, not home till November 21st. Talk about how you guys handle this early season stretch away.
Yeah, that's part of life in college basketball. We'll have more home games down the road, later in the season. But, we're going to play 2 neutral court games opening weekend, and then go up to Buffalo one night next week and play at the Uville, and then open conference play on the road. So, that just is what it is. The court's still 94 feet. Baskets are still 10 feet. I don't think we need to, go in with the tape measure like Coach Dale and Hoosiers. I think you'll find these exact same measurements in our gym back in Wheeling. Our guys are used to playing on a college-sized court and against good competition, and we're going to be ready to go wherever we play, home, road, neutral. We're ready to play. We're excited.
And finally, talk about some of your goals for this opening weekend and your keys to success out there against Seton Hill and Shippensburg.
Yeah, we gotta be disciplined in our approach. Stay within what we do. When we do that, we've been really, really good. When we've gotten in trouble in our scrimmages, it's when we've kind of broken off or broken outside of our system of play. And discipline is the ultimate freedom, right? When you play within structure and you play within a disciplined system, you have the space and the freedom and the creativity to go make plays. But everybody's got to be on the same page when you're doing that. And so when we've done that, we've been really good on both ends of the court, and we've shown that we can be a really good team. It's just staying disciplined in our approach and possession by possession, not having empty possessions where we don't get the ball to the paint or we don't get the ball reversed, or defensively not having empty possession where we don't block out. Our blockouts have gotten better and better and better as the preseason's gone on. So excited to see how we put it all together this weekend.
Thanks, Chris. Good luck in the opening weekend. Can't wait to see you out there.
Thanks, Zach. Go Cards.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.